Hello and welcome to the United Stand. As fans, I think it's fair to say we've been pretty patient this season, considering some of the issues we've had. We've had to adjust to having a manager who publicly slates the players, we've had players who, in fairness, might need a public slating, and we've drawn so many sodding home games that I now wake up regularly in the night having had nightmares about drawing more games, only to realise that they weren't nightmares, but recent memories. All this being said, one of the biggest issues we've had this season has been that we just don't have players who can consistently perform and claim a position as their own. So to that end, I'm Stephen from the United Stand, and in no particular order, here are the top 5 positions where we need new players. Number 5, centre forward. Now, I can't assume that everyone who watches this will understand some of the complexities of the beautiful game, so I'll explain. In football, the team that scores more goals wins. This season, we haven't won enough because we haven't scored enough. Simple. Zlatan has defied critics and his own age by smashing in 28 goals this season, but now that he's injured, it seems unlikely that he'll play for United again. Even without the injury, the reality is, we need a long-term solution and one with pace and energy. So what choices do we have? Well, Rashford has the ability to become a United great. He is an absolute sensation and will only improve as he gets older, but is he the player we can rely on to bag 30 goals next season? I'm not saying he isn't, I'm just not sure I can say he is. The truth of the matter is he's 19. Think of that! He had barely finished developing tear ducts when Titanic came out. He's still very young and therefore we don't know if he can be the main man for a whole season, and it's a lot of pressure at that age. This brings us to Mbappe, who looks incredible, but I fear buying him would be negative in Rashford's development. Plus we'd have to pay so much over the odds for a player who's only done it for one season. Yes, that's because he's just starting out, but it's too much of a semi-gamble. It's like buying a player after the World Cup. The price soars but there's no guarantees. Look at Cleverson. That's all I'm saying. So, what are our options? There's been a lot of talk about countless strikers, but many seem unlikely due to not wanting to come to us, the clubs not wanting to sell, or them just being overpriced. So, I believe the best, most realistic options are James Rodriguez or Thomas Müller, or both. Rodriguez is only 25 and has dropped in the pecking order at Real Madrid. Whilst he's only scored 6 goals this season, this is likely due to the lack of playing time rather than ability, as his form when he has played has actually been quite good. With De Gea's move looking very likely, Rodriguez and some cash would be a reasonable trade, and we'd have a solid player who could also double up as an attacking midfielder. Then there's Thomas Müller. After bidding 85 million for him last summer, it's clear that Jose rates him, and as he no longer seems to be first choice at Bayern, things are primed for this deal, and as with Rodriguez, we may get a relative bargain. He's only 27, and with a World Cup medal, with Golden Boot, and Champions League medal under his belt, his quality and experience would be a huge benefit to us. Number 4, left back. Over the years we've had some of history's best ever left backs. Just think about it. Roger Byrne, Patrice Evra, Gabriel Heinze, Dennis Irwin. The list is endless. Well, not really. Actually, that's probably it. Anyway, it looks increasingly likely that, despite what we hoped, Shaw isn't going to be the long-term answer in this position. Whilst he is fantastic when not injured or recovering, these times are becoming rare, and Jose isn't exactly known for his patience with players who injure easily. Personally, I'd like him to have another year, but I just can't see it. So, who is there to replace him? Well, current stand-ins Jones and Darmian are too old and too inconsistent respectively, so we need to get the chequebook out. Fortunately for us, that cheque shouldn't be too much more than 10 million, as the player in question could well be Celtic's Kieran Tierney. This is a player that Mourinho is said to be fond of because of his hard work and dedication to the game. Now a Scotland international, he's shown maturity in his play and seems ready for the step up. The downside is City, Arsenal and Chelsea are also interested. Let's hope we land him. Obviously, I have to give an honourable mention to Mendy, who would also be a great signing. I just like the idea of more British players. If you disagree, I'm sure you'll find a constructive and non-offensive way of telling me in the comments. Number 3, centre defensive midfield. Carrick has been an incredible servant to Manchester United, and his subtle brilliance probably won't be fully recognised until he retires. But times move on and we need a new CDM that will own the position for the next few years. Of all the players we've been linked to, I believe Toni Kroos to be the best replacement. Because of the De Gea situation, United will refuse to be bullied by Real Madrid, and like with Rodriguez, Kroos could be part of that deal. Not that we'll get both, but because of De Gea's extended contract, we do have more power than we did the last time Real came sniffing. Kroos is world class and his passing and vision would make us a much better team and would help to get the most out of Pogba. It's been reported that Kroos is ready for a change and would be willing to move to Manchester, so hopefully this will happen. I mean, who wouldn't favour Manchester over the warmth and romance of Spain? Let's move on. Number 2, full back. Okay, just to keep things interesting, let's start this section with a question. What do Smalling, Jones and Rojo have in common? Is it A, they all love acid jazz? Is it B, they can all complete a Rubik's Cube in under 10 seconds? Or C, they've all failed to cement themselves as a viable long-term partner for Bailly? You guessed it. Over the course of this season, they've all had moments, but like a stormtrooper, they've not been able to stand their ground or give real assurances against opposition. And the person to replace them that we're being linked to almost every day is Kostas Manolas. He's one of Serie A's best centre-backs, strong, powerful and incredibly quick. Perfect for the Premier League. He did indicate via Instagram that he wasn't leaving Roma, but then he's not going to come out and say anything otherwise until the season's over. He'd likely cost 40 million, but then for United, this isn't an issue. And at number 1, we need a new playmaker. In other words, a number 10. Who would likely be number 7? Now, I hope I'm not the only one who's getting bored with the Griezmann transfer saga. The thought of landing him is exciting, but it's been rolling on for so long that I think I might snap if I see one more headline saying, United agreed, Griezmann deal, as though it's brand new information. We at the United Stand try to voice fan opinion, and often if the papers say it, the fans say it, so we say it. So don't blame us. But seriously, if you work for a paper and you're watching this, don't be so lazy. So, preamble aside, we all know that Antoine has an affection for United. He loves David Beckham, and probably would love his shirt, and blimey do we need a worthy number 7 soon. His footballing abilities are well documented, and he complements this team beautifully. Yes, it's taking a while, but good things come to those who wait. The whole thing's been like sticking an onion up a chicken's arse. It can be difficult, and may seem like it won't go through, but then when it does, the end result is bliss. So that's our list. Do you agree with the choice of players? Who would you go for instead? Get involved, add your view in the comment section below. As ever, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here if you fancy. Thanks for watching.